We are in
Our
here.
anniversary. Mm, anniversary. Yes, yes,
Yes.
yes. Okay. I'm not gonna start showing my age. So but welcome. Come on into the room, y'all. We have an amazing conversation today for you guys. Spirit has been running high all morning for me, so I know this is going to be an amazing show. So welcome. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, don't know if we got a chance to get over to Instagram yet, but we'll make sure that you guys know where to catch the replay. So my name is Tamisha, and I have my lovely co-host.
It's me, Christy.
Y'all have been rocking with us for a whole freaking year. We in this thing. We in this thing a year long. And actually, this is our 25th episode. When we first started this, remember, Christy, we were doing bi-weekly. And
Yes.
we're like, you know what? We got to amp this thing up. So we started off bi-weekly, and then we ended up at towards the end of the year running every week. And we've been running strong ever since. So I also want to make sure that we introduce our two lovely guests. I don't call them guests, I call them friends. They have both been on our previous shows. You have to make sure you go back and watch both of those shows as they were powerful conversations as well. So Lashana, let's start with you. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll go to Karen.
Sure. First of all, happy anniversary. I think it's a big deal that you guys are celebrating. A lot of times when we have milestones, it's just another day in the neighborhood. And I'm just excited to share this with you guys. My name is Lashana West, and I'm a business therapist and leadership coach. And so I help you with all the internal stuff, the feelings, the emotions, the vulnerability, and ultimately, I would say the courage to do the things that you truly want to do without shrinking in the process. And I'm
Mhm.
super excited to hold space with you guys today.
Yes, thank you.
Happy to have you here
Thank
again.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Karen Fairweather. I also want to say happy anniversary to Point Blank, period. I'm so excited to be here for another opportunity to share the stage with you all. And when I got the invite, I'm like, yes, of course I'll be there
Yes.
to share in the celebration with you all. I am a women's empowerment speaker. I use my branding of the affirmation whisperer along with my years of experience to show women how to recover from traumas. I am not a therapist, but I show them how to rebuild, I should say, to rebuild their lives from those ashes that they have burned down, things that have happened in their traumas, but show them how to take those ashes and turn them into a blueprint that they can use to rebuild their lives and create the life that they desire. So happy to be here, ladies.
Yes, thank you.
Happy to have you back.
I know.
Yes.
So first things first, it's been a minute since we had you both on the show, and I actually know you both have some very exciting things going on because as friends, I get to stay connected with you, and just get to know it. Christy, I think you said earlier today with all the emails that Mr. Shauna West sends out, baby, we know what's going
We
on.
know
Okay.
what she got going on.
Hold up. Is that shade? Are y'all like, sis, you doing too much? Let's be
Oh,
No, I'm taking notes. I'm taking
absolutely.
notes. I need
okay.
to do better. The people, what I've learned is the
Absolutely.
people who are for you have no problem with the number of emails you send out. They want it.
Absolutely.
Very good. Very
Absolutely.
good. I just
Yeah.
want to check, you know what I'm saying?
No, I always say, like, when you look at the number of emails that like some of these companies send out, I mean, 2 and 3 and 4 a day, it becomes, yeah. But like Chrissy said, if it's something that you absolutely want to stay connected to, we
Mhm.
don't mind.
It don't even
Even
bother me,
so,
right?
and you're the blueprint. So for anybody out here who is in this moment need a little bit more cha-ching to change, you get them emails out. Okay, get off social media, get them emails out.
Thanks.
Um, Yes, and so also, Karen, I know you have a new launch, which the book looks beautiful. Cannot wait to get my hands on it.
Thank
So,
you.
want to start with you first. Let us know about what it is that you're doing, what it is that you just launched, and anything else that you would like to share.
Thank you so much. As I mentioned earlier, being a women's empowerment speaker and the wisdom and experience that I have, I bring to the floor a path, a journey, or blueprint that women can use to recover or to rebuild their lives after any kind of traumas. And my latest project Life Rediscover, your 90-day journal to life transformation. It is not your regular journal that has a bunch of lines in it that you can just write on your own. No. There are activities in this book. There are reflection periods in the book. There are affirmations, of course, in the book. So this book, literally, if you want to take it day by day, is a 90-day journey of showing you how to recover, how to rebuild, how to reset, reflection moments so you can think about yourself, what it is that you desire, what it is that you don't desire, which I believe is far more important than what you desire. Because if you know what you don't desire, then you can focus on that you do desire. So I did launch that book about 2 weeks ago, and we had a master class on yesterday, and I'm going to do the class again. I'm going to do a class again for those that want to come into that master class, because we literally do a semi-dive into the book, giving people a little bit of an introduction on the purpose of the book, the intent of the book, and how to use the book. The book, I have a copy. I'll grab it in a second to show you. But the book literally has the blueprint that I use. I am a woman of 2 children. I have 6 total, but 2 of my own. I have gone through 2 divorces from the same man. Yes, the same man twice. We'll get into that story another time. But have gone through losing absolutely everything. Now, and be very clear, everyone, I'm not blaming anyone but myself. It was my choices that resulted in me being where I was, which was what I did not want.
Right.
But because I did not assess what I didn't want so that I could focus on what I do desire, I ended up in the conglomeration that I had. So with that being the case, I had to rebuild myself as a woman, rebuild myself as a mother, and then rebuild myself as a potential spouse, because I do desire to be married again, but in the right way this time. My former husband, and I always call him my former husband. You will never hear me say ex, because I don't ex anyone out of my life. Because of the experience that I had with him twice, I learned a lot. And I don't know if I would have learned those lessons without him. So he is my former husband. Unfortunately, he passed this past December. But even with that, I learned so much in that. And because I learned so much about it, I know what not to do now. Mm-hmm. So in my journal, I am literally breaking it down to women on how they can take steps for them. And I know this to be true. When one takes ownership of your own desires and not putting them in the hands of somebody else. My former husband couldn't make me happy. I looked for that. I expected that. Why are you not making me happy? Because it is.
Well, I definitely have an ex-husband, and I do ex people out of my life. I'm glad that worked for you, sister, but that ain't working for me.
You know what? And I applaud you, because you know what works for you, right? That for me is former, for you is ex, and I accept that and honor your choice in saying so, because maybe for you that's necessary, right? Because this is like, okay, you know what?
And we co-parent, fine. So I will give them the title of co-parent. We have, I think, a great co-parenting relationship.
Yeah.
But in reference, he's the ex-husband. And I do, not just in reference to him, but I do ex people out my life for my own peace. And I think that's important, to knowing yourself and following what works for you. Because I think a lot of people in business and in life as women and as mothers, especially with social media now, we see so many things that other people are doing. We're like, oh, let me do that. Well, that don't work for you.
Right, exactly.
And you first have to know yourself to know that that's not going to work for you.
I was going to go right back to that.
Love what you said. And I already know me, and that ain't going to work for me.
Exactly. Knowing yourself, so you know what works for you, right? Because that's my journey, and my journal in no way dictates anyone to do it the way I did it, but I offer suggestions, I offer options, I offer information, and then you then can build on what it is you desire to do for your life, right? So with that journal, we had the masterclass. The masterclass is coming back, and I do encourage anyone to go to my website, and you can purchase the journal. But I also invite you, we were talking about emails and text messages. I invite everyone to join my email and text message community, because every Monday I have an email that goes out, just an inspirational email that goes out that includes 4 affirmations for everyone to take with them throughout the week. And then my text message community has 1 affirmation that I send out to the community, because I am an avid believer in affirmations. I know the power of speaking well about myself.
Right.
I can receive a compliment all day. Oh, you're so smart. You're so intelligent. But if I don't believe that, it's just a surface compliment for me. Mm-hmm. But because I have spoken to myself, I have reminded myself of who I am, and above that, whose I am.
Okay.
Right? Whose I am. Because of whose I am all that I am, right? Because of whose I am. He lives within me. I don't have to go find the Spirit of God. It's within me. And because of him being within me, I am beautiful. Right. I am courageous. I am strong. So I believe in speaking well. We have the power of life and death in our tongues. Are we using it? Yes. And it's not just to our physical bodies. It's to our spiritual life as well. Our spiritualness, the emotions of it. Am I speaking well about these factors in my life so that I can stand up and stand in what God has put in me? He has put me here for a purpose. So if I'm not standing up and standing in it, how can I, that second wind, you talked about that second wind. How can I go out that second wind if I'm not standing up and in what I've been given, what I've been gifted with to do those things I'm supposed to do? We all are purposely here for a purpose to fulfill. But if I don't know me, Christy, right? If I don't know me and what works for me, because I'm not pouring into myself, then I'm just back and forth all over the place. Mm-hmm. But when I know who I am, I can speak those words to myself. I have a seat at the table. You know why? Because I built the table.
You built the table. I was hoping you followed it up with because
I built the table. Now I'm a guest. Look. Now I'm a guest at other people's table. Now, this is your table. I'm a guest at this table. But guess what? I got my own table that I built, that I can bring others to my table and serve them in the way that I'm meant to serve them. We all have a table, but are you recognizing who you are, whose you are, and what you have in you to execute your purpose that you're purposely here for? Don't y'all get me started now, because I can hold.
I think that's a perfect segue into the second win. Part of the second win sometimes is first realizing you need a second win, and then realizing you don't have to wait for somebody else to create that second win for you.
Hello.
You create your own second win with your own table. Yes. And I think that's where we're at right now in business. And I just saw CNN post about the 6% rule that's changing for realtors, and some realtors that's really hitting them that was my bread and butter, and now they're about to cut my commission in half. What do I do? Wow. I had to go read up on it. What does that mean to cut their commission by 6%? Wow. And it's a time now where they need to go create your table. If something has changed in your business that is outside your control, they can't control that. It's been written. It's now a new line and probably the test that they're going to take to become realtors. You have to now create that table. And so since we are an example of what we've done even in our podcast, we didn't start off being point blank period. We started out as a community team, and now we've hit a year with point blank period. There's other things that we didn't start off for, and we instead of waiting for someone to create something for us, even my second business that I started now, instead of waiting for someone to create something for me, I went and found something that I can create a lane in myself, create the own table. So I think that was well, first of all, not just one good point, that was a lot of good points, but I like the one about creating your own table. And when it comes to that, even for you, LaShawna, I've even noticed with your emails, more emails that I've been getting, and I feel like you've created some different lanes. What has it been like for you to create? What have you done in this last year to create your own table?
Right. Yeah. So I want to start off by just saying, because we're talking about the second win, and I think it's important for that foundational piece. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't prep and you're not aware, you want to be ready to have the momentum for the second win, right?
Yes.
I think at the end of the day, let's just use the realtors, for example. If they were already in pursuit, meaning building their personal brand, establishing themselves in their digital real estate, meaning Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, the whole nine, when you get this update, for example, hey, it's not working out, we need you to leave, or hey, this is being cut, you don't go into panic mode because you've already been positioning yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's why I love helping entrepreneurs work on their mindset and have that foundation to move into building whatever it is. So you don't have to be so vulnerable and put your future and your purpose in someone else's hands, right? Mm-hmm. Yes. And I literally came from there. I'm 3 years clean from corporate.
Clean.
Yeah, okay, I think that's how you do it. I don't know. But I use that as an example because you can drink the Kool-Aid so much and be a robot and walk that walk to where you lose yourself. And then when you become unhappy, you are blaming them. Well, they won't promote me. They won't give me more money. No, you got to be able to. God pushed me out the nest. I was at a company for 9.5 years. And when I tell you I was drinking that Kool-Aid and their brand colors was blue, I was a blue girl. My whole body was bllu, right? And you didn't have to resuscitate me. I was fully alive. If y'all got that, go on and laugh.
Right.
I'm just playing. So he pushed me out the nest because I was so enmeshed. And in the mental health clinical world, enmeshment is where you're so codependent, you can't operate without it, and y'all just stuck together. Like twin, where have you been? That's enmeshment. I was enmeshed. He pushed me out the nest, enabled me to open up my horizons, and fast forward, now doing business therapy and leadership coaching, I'm using all the transferable skills that I used in corporate, but on my own terms, making the money that I want to make with my own time freedom. And now I get to choose how I want to navigate instead of being told how I want to navigate.
Right.
So in regards to having a second win and the elevation of my brand, it's merely just taking everything that I've been doing and assessing it ongoingly. So I'm never stagnant or stuck, and it's always elevating. When I first started my business, I was doing clarity and confidence. And then I moved into accountability and business therapy. And now it's business therapy and leadership coaching. Because at the end of the day, we are all leaders, no matter what role you have, because leadership is not a role or a title. It's an energy, it's an essence, it's an internal thing, right? That's indicative of all the other things. Mindset is such a small piece. And I was like, you know what, sis, you're playing small and shrinking. Now, mind you, this is me talking to myself by calling yourself a mindset coach. Mindset, it's throughout everything that you do. So let's elevate that and move into leadership, which is what you've already been doing. Like I just had the opportunity to work with Pinky Cole and her team. And what I did.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Well, I'm going to tell you how I landed that opportunity in 1 second. But when I showed up and did what I did for them, I had been doing that for years. But I wasn't sharing it publicly. I wasn't front facing with it. But how I got the opportunity was literally I pitched myself to her. And because we were talking about something with me. And I said, well, do your team need this? She was like, as a matter of fact, they do. We got a retreat next week. I didn't care what date it was. Even if I would have had a vacation plan, guess what? That vacation would have been canceled. Right. And not because of who she is or her caliber, but because that's truly what I want to do. And I wasn't going to miss the opportunity. It wouldn't have came if I wouldn't opened up my mouth and been in position and already had my reps in and already was confident to even say, okay, what's up? What's the date? So in short, when you prep, when you're in the gym, for example, we're all in the gym right now. Someone's going to be on Tyler Perry's movie. Somebody's going to be on Oprah's couch. Somebody's going to create their own platform on Netflix. But if you're not practicing right now, you will be ill-equipped and unprepared to take the opportunity or to ask for the opportunity when it's literally in your lap.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
there's so many.
But
let me tell you, the way that both of you ladies have ushered in this spirit, we've been on this particular conversation less than 20 minutes, right? But this first 20 minutes have been powerful, and I hope you caught it. If you are just joining in, I need you to go back to the beginning, and I need you to join from the beginning, start from the beginning, because both of you ladies have really said some powerful things that we all need to hear. Like I was taking notes. I was like, this is feeding my soul. And this is our anniversary. So I do expect, I'm in the season of expectancy, and I'm expecting from my soul to be, my cup to be filled, my soul. So I appreciate you. And it's interesting. So as y'all can tell, the lights have probably appeared. My morning started off, my morning started off great. It's still going great. But probably about an hour before the show started, I texted everybody and I said, hey, The show is still going forth, but I don't have any power. My phone is on 70% or 80%, I think, at that time. And at this point, we'll get through it. But it's a few things. Let me ask y'all this. It's a few, like when people say God work in mysterious ways, right? One of the things that I'm noticing, and I'm being very more much more like aware of now, is how God talks to me. Mm-hmm. And so I learned a lesson this morning. So this morning, after I found out that the power was off, I was like, okay, you know what? Before the water gets cold, let me go take a quick shower. Period. But baby,
exactly.
I stepped in that shower and the water was cold. Y'all know that old hymn, the old. I
was trying to think of the words.
I stepped in the water and the water was cold. You know that I've been changed. That's the song. I've been changed. And so
I will start singing. Do not prompt me.
I need you to sing it because I was getting ready to sing it, but I was like, I ain't warmed up my voice just this morning. Okay, this my morning voice. I ain't know I was gonna come on here doing all of that because I would have did my octaves and my training. But that song though, I grew up in the church, and that song was one that rung true to me. And so when I stepped in that shower this morning and that water was cold, I said, okay, I got two options. I know that I took a shower last night, so I can either just jump back out and be like, okay, cool, let me just wash my face and keep it going. But I said, you know what, God, this is a test, and I'm going to pass this test. I'm going to take this cold shower, because it's a difference between taking a lukewarm shower and taking a cold shower. Okay, there's a very big difference in that. I don't know if y'all ever did like a cold plunge or like went to Jeju's and they have this cold ice bath that you step in. It's different. And so the message that I got this morning is I have to persevere, no matter what the external, no matter what's happened to me externally. The only thing that I can control is my internal state, is my internal mind. And I believe that when we control that, everything else, we can get through whatever else.
Exactly.
And so it's funny because I was just kind of watching some videos and stuff this morning because I wanted to know, when it comes to that that finding your second wind, when it comes to it, what actually happens inside of us? Like, I needed to know what happens internally, because
what you come up with? What did research tell you?
Right. So I played sports in the past. Now, I've never had anything that stuck with me. So I tried track, I've tried basketball, I've tried volleyball. Like, I did all the things, right? Just because I was a kid and I could do it. But nothing ever stuck with me. So I didn't know on a physical, as it relates to our physical, of what the second wind would feel like. But I do know that everything that I have done mentally, spiritually in the past, I had to rely on my second wind to continue to persevere, right? And so I'll give you a brief example. So this morning, so I have a team, what in my profession, what we do, I build a team. So I have a team of delivery drivers out there. And there was a situation that happened to one of my team members where, this is what we bring in is primarily what kind of keeps their roof, their house going, right? And so I always say it's a different level of responsibility when you have people that are riding with you than versus if you were just driving the car yourself, right? It's a I can't really explain it, but there's a very different level of responsibility that you feel, this heaviness that you wear when you have team members that are, like I said, in the car with you, right? And when she called me this morning, her husband called me this morning, and they thanked us for the opportunity again, because this is what they're living off of, as well as just the strength that I heard in their voice, and I know everything that they're going through. That alone gave me my second wind. Like because I know that other people are relying on me, and that's my purpose, is to provide for other people. That gave me my second wind. And I just want everybody to just really go in deep with yourself and figure out what it is that you need to be focused on, because once you focus on that, that will give you your second wind. Like, there's no way that I can stop doing anything that I thought I was going to be able to stop doing, right? Because I envision myself of like, you know what, let me downsize a whole bunch of stuff. Let me figure. I can't stop. I can't. Look, there's just no way for me to stop. Now I can rest, and that's what I want to go into right now.
Yeah.
Is because, and I want y'all to kind of help me bring this home, is because you don't have to stop, but you do need to make sure that you bring in some rest. And I think us as women, we're still in Women's History Month. We're celebrating our anniversary. We're also celebrating the fact that we are women. And I want you to just kind of give it a little thought in just for a moment, but help me bring out the fact that we do need to allow ourselves that time to rest.
Yeah, for sure. I'll say, first of all, I can relate to you getting that prompt about your second win. And it's interesting because perception is reality. For some people, depending on where they are, that would have literally drained them and gave them more fuel to downsize and to cancel, because it's so much on their shoulders, right? Mm-hmm. But because of your purpose and you being in alignment and you literally listening to your heart, that gave you your second win. I was thinking about doing some different things with my content space, Pop Up and Create, if you guys are not aware. And when we had our brunch yesterday and I seen that magic that happened in that room, it shifted all the changes and modifications that I was thinking about. And I said, nah, I got to keep this going. I got to lean in no matter what it takes. That gave me my second win. And I think the deciding factor is that's what we truly want to do. But there's all these distractions, worry, fear, doubt, imposter syndrome, mental health, all of the junk in our trunk. And I'm not talking about your booty. Okay. All of the junk that clouds. That's so good, right? All of the junk that clouds what we really should be doing, God will give us those reminders where it's going to work out no matter what. So I totally understand. Now, in regards to rest, a lot of us think that rest needs to be earned, and rest is the afterthought. No, rest is automatically given, and it should be proactive instead of reactive.
Yes.
Right. So in this season, you guys were asking initially, like, what's been going on in this season? I'm getting people with a lot of burnout. What I'm getting is people realize about rest last year and burnout. And in this season, we are making it more of a priority no matter what.
Right.
Because we cannot sacrifice ourselves for wealth.
Yes. Yes.
We can't sacrifice ourselves for business. We can't sacrifice ourselves for anything, because it's not going to be longevity. It's not going to be sustainable. Mm-hmm. So I've been infusing rest in everything that I'm doing, whether I got my house slippers on and my soft robe on just to get that comfort, laying in the bed watching Netflix, even though that's usually not what I do. I'm intentionally decompressing and giving myself grace, because as you guys know, a lot of people think when they leave corporate, they get to work less and all XYZ. No, you working 25/8.
Right.
Okay. And it can become enmeshment, like I talked about earlier, if you're not clear about it. Because I used to self-sabotage, talking about, I love work so much it don't feel like work. No, sis, you're still operating with all of the things, and that's not okay, and it's not healthy. Right. So that's my quick, moderate, and actually long share about your question.
LaShawn, I want to say, forgive me for not recognizing your name earlier when you said Pop Up and Create. I'm like, I've met her before. I was out in this shop last year sometime. So hello again.
Hey, no, I definitely remember you, K-Ron. Like, I remember you. But it's okay, boo-boo. It's okay.
Listen, the Pop Up and Create, okay, I know who that is now.
Yeah, hey, shameless plug. You know what I mean?
No, but not
shameless at all.
No, that needs to be the plug, and everybody has about your space. So yes, we're gonna definitely continue to yell and shout and support Pop Up and Create, because it's an amazing space that you've created.
Beautiful space.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can chime in on this, I want to say, first off, in order to sustain your success or your climb to success, you must know how to rest. Rest is a requirement for sustained success. Rest is a requirement for sustained success, because when you think about it, LaShawna just said it, 25/8. So if it takes 25/8 for us to build our business, say sustain our business, when are we going to rest? So purposely and intentionally incorporating rest daily, not just on vacations, not just on the weekend, daily having a period of rest. Now, rest may not mean going to sleep, but whatever your rest is, it could be just turning everything off and going outside and getting some fresh air. It could be going for a drive. It could, even if it's retail therapy, if that allows you to disconnect from the business and just connect to you, do whatever that may mean for you. But literally giving your mind and body rest, it is a requirement for sustained success. It's just, to me, I don't see how you can sustain your success without good rest of your mind, body, and spirit. So I love how you were saying that, LaShawna, about rest, because I think about myself, even in my 9 to 5, I am still in a 9 to 5 space, but there's sometimes I get tired, and my lunch break is my rest period. And I lay down and I take a nap so that I can refresh myself and be able to function at capacity, as opposed to being, fueled up with coffee or an energy drink or an energy pill or something. That's all artificial. So therefore, I am reprogramming my body that is saying lay down and rest, to say no, rev up and get going. So at the end of the day, I'm so exhausted because I didn't commanded my body to do something that it was not ready to do, right? Artificially stimulated my body to do something that my body is not ready to do. So rest. Give yourself rest. I don't care what it looks like. And again, you got to know who you are to know what rest looks like for you.
Right. It's true.
It goes right back to who you are. Do I need to lay down for 30 minutes? No, I might not just, and it's happened many times. I will put my head down on the desk and I feel like I've been asleep for 30 minutes. I look at the clock and it might have been 7 minutes.
10. Yep. That cat nap is an amazing thing.
It is an amazing thing.
When I was working full time.
Okay. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm ready to go now, because I yielded to it. I gave into it, gave myself the rest. The body woke up and said, okay, that's all I need. You can get going now. But if I don't,
the body keeps a score too.
It does. It absolutely does. When we get older, y'all, I'm 60 years old. I can say I'm 60 years old.
You're 60 years young.
Young, right? I know I don't look it. This gray hair is kind of gives you a little hint of it, but you know how that is. But with me I remember the times of staying up for 48 hours when I had kids. Literally I still have kids, younger kids, when I had babies. Literally staying up for 48 hours. Why? Because I'm like, okay, I had to do this, then, and third, and I still need to do this. So I'm just going to stay up. And guess what I needed to take? Some kind of drink, some kind of pill or something to force my body to stay awake. But by that third day, guess what I was doing? Sleeping the whole darn day. Because I had pulled my body out of alignment and resting when I needed to rest, so that I could so-called get stuff done. But then on that third day when I crashed, who gonna do the stuff that I was supposed to do on that third day when I didn't crash? You see what I'm saying? That balance of understanding, okay, my body is saying I need to rest. Let me ask somebody to come and watch the kids for me for a few minutes, or let me put the kids to sleep so I can go to sleep. You ever heard that when the kids sleep, you should sleep too? That's a real thing.
It is. It's in our household. We have a household nap time almost every day. I don't know when that passes it more often, but my husband and he wakes up early and stays up late. So in midday, when our toddler goes down, he needs a nap too. Yeah, and it works.
It does work. Rest. I cannot tell you, for longevity sense, rest is the key, because you're literally giving your body an opportunity to reset, whether it's 6 or 7 to 8 hours at night, 15 minutes during the day, whatever your body needs, but you got to know you first. Give your body what it needs so that you can rest. So when those opportunities, I guarantee you, Tamisha, if your body and mind were not rested, and that situation came up with you with the power today, you would not have been able to manage it the way you did.
Yes.
You might have had a propensity to panic. Oh my gosh, the show's coming, right? Mm-hmm. Because your body is in a state that it is not rested to be able to process that, for you to hear from God. So God is like, okay, I just need you to push through this. Absolutely. But when our body is tired, we can't do that. You're gonna say?
No, I'm saying you're absolutely correct. And the period that I am in life right now, right? I know that I'm getting my second win, but it's that moment of tiredness still. Like, so the reason why you have a second win is because you get tired, right? So I have never ran a marathon, right? Well, I think it's like my marathon is what, like 26 miles. I've never ran a marathon.
Yes.
I don't even have the desire to run an actual marathon, but I believe life is a marathon for me. Life is not a sprint. I do believe it's a marathon. And so I'm allowing myself to, and because I know myself, I know when now I'm in a period of, I'm coming out of that period of exhaustion and tiredness, right? And so, Karan, you said something a few moments ago about when like your kids was getting ready to go to a nap and you asked for help. Right. That is another key that I think as women, we often don't do enough of, is asking for help. And not only that, I think surrounding ourselves with the right people that can feel that we need help. Sometimes we don't even, we're so in the thick of something that we don't even know, we can't even think to ask for us. Have y'all been so in the thick of life that you can't even see tomorrow? Have y'all been there?
Yeah. Can't even see the next 5 minutes.
And I'm telling you, if you've never been there, count your blessings and thank God. But if you've been to the point where you can't even see the next step, you have to have people in your life that can understand when you're there at that point. Y'all know when that, like the whole meme I think goes around and says like, check on your strong friend because, you know, XYZ and, you know, whatever. That is true. You have to check on the people that have never asked you for help. And
you know what's crazy? When so two things. Number one, I just want to say asking for help is a strength. It's not a weakness, because it gives someone else an opportunity to share their skills, their wealth, and just for them to share. But I think we become conditioned, especially if you've ever been a single mom or grew up in a single mom or single parent household, or you've always fended for yourself. It's your go-to. It's normalcy to just do it on your own. And most people don't want to be let down. They don't want to be vulnerable, and they're shameful to ask for help because they think it makes them to appear weak. But what I wanted to share was, because that used to be me, and it's even funny. Someone asked me how I was doing, and they were like, "Do you need anything?" And I was like, it felt weird to me because nobody asked me that. And I didn't know how to answer because my rebuttal was always, I'm good and no, I don't need anything.
Right.
Well, now I'm being more cognizant of not having an immediate rebuttal and really listen and hear that someone truly wants to support me. And it felt weird because I'm always serving. Who serves a server?
Right.
Every therapist needs a therapist. Every coach needs a coach. And so now what I'm doing is being okay with being supported. And even if I don't need any help, I need to think deeper about it, because maybe I can say, yeah, hey, just check on me periodically because this feels good. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to share that. I don't know who that was for. If it's for you, put it too in the comments. If you're here live or on the replay, little call to action. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
This is a big gap in area of improvement for us as women, no matter if you have kids or not.
Right.
We on top of things, high performers, always on 10. No, sit back and relax. Like if you notice right now, we're sitting up straight, our shoulders are up, right?
Right.
I remember back in the day, my daughter, she'd be like, Mom, lower your shoulders. And I'd be like,
put them down.
Right? Our kids are even cognizant, and the people around us are cognizant So the question is, when will we become self-aware so we can do it ourselves?
Yes.
If I can pick up on what you're saying about that self-aware, I want to make 2 points. I want to go back to when Tamisha was saying that the second wind. When I first heard that, when you communicated that out about the second wind, the first thing that came to me was that second wind of me knowing what my why is. I get my second wind because I'm getting weary with what I'm doing. I may not be seeing results. I don't see the results because, results are happening. People don't always tell us how we've impacted them, but because I don't see the results, I'm getting weary. I'm starting to wonder, am I really operating in my purpose? So when you sent that out about the second wind, I thought about that. I say, so what lets me know that? What helps me get to that place of a second win? And for me, my immediate answer was knowing my why.
Yes.
Knowing my why. And it sounded like for you, in the communication you had with your team member, them expressing their gratitude for you, you reconnected with your why, which just put that wind under your sail for you to push on a little further, right? So for me, when a second wind physically is a thing, but second wind for me to know why I'm doing what I'm doing. What is my why? I have people that I'm accountable to, those that are on the payroll. But why do I want to continue that? Knowing my why is why I still continue to do what I'm doing. Even when I may have an event and not many people show up, or I'm sending emails out and nobody's responding. My call to action, right, LaShawna? No one is responding to my call to action. To me, it looks like nobody's responding to my call to action. But you know how it is. You might see a post that motivates you to go and do something, but you may not necessarily respond to that post and say, hey, I went and did X, Y, and Z. That's how come we have to be confident in our why and knowing that the impact that we want to make is being made, but we may not see it, right? We may not know anything about it for 6 months. Oh yeah, LaShawna, I came to pop up and create, and I put this post together, and this happened for me. But you don't know about it for 6 months. Well, girl, why you didn't tell me back then? Maybe it wasn't the time for you to know it.
Right.
Yeah, that's good.
Right? But knowing our why puts that wind under our sail and keeps us pushing forward in our purpose. Yes. And I heard LaShawna say how she reframed her purpose 3 times, on the 3rd time now, and maybe that's your niche right there because you've been doing it all along. So why you not put it out front, right?
Yep.
Yes.
So knowing your why is hugely important, but you're not going to know your why if you don't know yourself.
Yes.
And I keep going back to that. You have to know yourself in order to understand your why. So when you get that second win, I'm continuing on with this because I understand what I'm supposed to do. Yes. I understand that, right? And with that rest thing, look, know what you need for rest. I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Know what you need for rest. I might only need 7 minutes. I may only need 5 hours. I know they tell you every time I go to the doctor. How many hours of sleep you getting? 6 or 7. You know you should get 8. I don't necessarily subscribe.
I don't believe in that.
I don't subscribe to that because my body may not be my body is not your body.
Right.
Yeah.
If I lay in the bed for 8 hours, I'm gonna get a headache because my body's saying you should be up doing something.
Yeah. And I found 8 hours to be too long for me. I end up sleeping during the day. When I get 5 hours, I have the best days ever.
Yes.
But it goes back. You have to know yourself. You have to let your life. And I've learned that by just no alarm, just let your body sleep, and it'll wake up when it needs to. Now, that comes with time freedom because everybody doesn't have that ability to just wake up when they want
to. Y'all know what though? How long ago was that when they say 8 hours of sleep was the best?
Exactly.
Forever. And that's the thing. As y'all know, as we grow, elevate, and just evolve, what was back in the day like
milk does your body good?
All of the things. Like in this new era, maybe 8 is cool for some people, maybe 5. So data is data, but you still got to listen to yourself, your body,
exactly.
What works for you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, once you learn the history of all those things too, I remember I learned the history of why they said it wasn't why they pushed sugar on us. And it was really, honestly, a lot of things that I've learned that we were told was really around a marketing tool to help them at the time, and in their industry make money. And so they were pushing milk because it benefited someone at the time. They were pushing that was it, flour, something was bad, and they were putting all the sugar in our frosted flakes and things like that. And then come to find out the real enemy to our bodies is sugar. Right. So, and once you learn the history, a lot of things that we've been told, I guarantee, I put money on it, and I haven't done the research yet, but if I research the reason why they say 8 hours, it's probably attached to something that they needed us as Americans to do to benefit the industry at the time. Like,
I can answer what that is. I can tell you exactly what it is. So we can go out and buy the sleep machines. We can go out and buy the water machines. We can go out and buy the products. Go and buy the beds, the sleep number beds. That's exactly what it is. So in order for you to get 8 hours, well, maybe you should change your mattress. Then there I go out there trying to buy this mattress. I've been sleeping 5 hours good in the mattress I got, but they're telling me I need to sleep 8 hours, and maybe it's my mattress. So now I'm going to go out and buy this new mattress. It's all motivated by money.
Yes, always.
Always. When you think about it, because you mentioned the milk and the sugar, and I'll say this is me. Maybe there's some of you still subscribe to this. I don't. It says breakfast is the most important meal of the day. I don't subscribe to that.
Right.
I just don't, because too many times I can wake up, have water, and not eat anything until 11 or 12 o'clock, and I am good.
Right.
Well, it also depends. What I've learned to back that up is what is considered breakfast varies based on the last time you ate the night before.
Right.
It's really a time period. Right. So if you went to bed and last time you ate was midnight, then your first meal shouldn't be at 7 or 8 a.m. Right. Your first meal is later. So they don't never explain the necessary reason behind it. It's just a blanket statement. If you don't know yourself, know your lifestyle, know the reason why breakfast is important, because breakfast for you could be really at lunchtime, right? But it's the first meal.
They got to get those Pop-Tarts and cereal out on our tables. That's what breakfast.
So I want to dig into this because I keep hearing this. I keep hearing this as a reoccurring theme today, which is know yourself. And I know we've dug into it a little bit on previous shows, but what did that look like for you? So LaShawna, start us off with when you really got to know LaShawna West, baby. Just go back into that moment in time where it was just clicks. It was like, I know who I am. What did that look like? What was the process?
Oh my God, the process was healing
while building.
Exactly. Look, shameless plug again, healing while building.
Yes.
And when I introduced myself, I didn't mention about our summit, June 22nd and June 23rd. And I want to talk to you and Christy because I think Point Blank Period should have a live podcast snippet during the summit. We'll talk about it. Okay, it literally just came to my mind right now. So you know how ADD and all that good stuff.
We love a good opportunity.
For sure. So what did it look like? It looked like realizing that everything that I have been working towards and building, I've been doing my whole life, but I didn't realize it until I took time to pause and feel through what made my light shine inside and out. And what I realized was it was everything I had been running from. Mm-hmm. I dropped 3 speech classes in college. And most people were like, what, girl? You the talk of the town. You hosting. You doing your thing. And most people also think that, oh, yeah, I hate public speaking. I totally get it. I dropped 3 speech classes in college because I endured a traumatic event growing up and I cracked my jaw. Mm-hmm. And so I grew up with a crooked mouth and was bullied for most of my younger childhood years, right? Mm-hmm. And so in my head, I'm like, oh my God, are they going to notice? And I've had 3 reconstructive jawbone surgeries from age of 5 to 35. Mm-hmm. And your story is your glory.
Yes. 5
years ago, before entrepreneurship, close family members didn't know that story. Best friends didn't know that story. My mate at the time, my daughter's dad, my daughter's 21, he didn't know that story. Mm-hmm. But business enabled me to break through and become vulnerable and share. And that's what literally opened up the floodgates of me being able to provide support in a thorough, authentic way instead of a cookie cutter way.
Yes.
Because when people see, oh my God, if she can do it, so can I. Because I ain't even told y'all, I'm not going to call it a trauma story. I haven't even shared the resiliency behind all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But when we share our story and people can see a glimmer of themselves in you, it don't matter how much you charge. It don't matter if you got an Instagram page or if you got a website. They don't care. And most times they don't even care. They don't even care about how much it costs.
Right.
They want to know, how can I work with you? How can I experience the transformation? I'm ready.
Exactly.
Right.
So it took healing while building. It took courage. And ultimately, it took me getting out of my own way and letting the ego flow, meaning let it flow into the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
Because the ego will stop you from not only activating your purpose, but getting paid to your pockets.
That's right. That's right.
And I'm gonna come back to you because I got something I have to ask you. Karan, go ahead. I want you to share what the journey was to like knowing yourself, finding yourself, you know, really being able to get into who you are.
I love how LaShawna reframed it from trauma story to resilience story, right?
That's what I got to come back to that because I have
resilience story. Because I will honestly say, I will transparently, because I'm always honest, I would transparently say it was my experiences being molested as a child at the age of 5 years old, and my 5-year-old eyes when somebody did something bad and they were supposed to get in trouble, right?
Yes.
I didn't see anybody get in trouble. Now, later in my adult years, I found out what was said, what was done. But in my 5-year-old eyes, my self-confidence, my carefreeness, my innocence, my joy with life, my safety zone, my security was all obliterated. It was all obliterated because I felt like I didn't matter. And I lived the rest of my life up until later in my adult years feeling exactly that and existing like that. Not until, and it hasn't been too long ago, y'all, around 2010, that I realized that, and you had to have self-awareness. Desiring my self-awareness is what got me to a point of taking steps to be self-aware. Because I had to figure out what's going on here. Why am I this age having 2 failed marriages? Not blaming anybody else, my own accountability, right? But in my desire for more, I got to self-awareness. I remember very clearly sitting in my bedroom window, looking out the window and just pondering life. And I said these words to myself, and you guys will hear me say this story over and over because it was my epiphany moment. There's got to be more.
Yes.
There's got to be more, because I was waking up doing the same thing, going to bed doing the same thing, feeling the same way, not feeling the same way. And I said to myself, there's got to be more. So my desire for more took me to my point of self-awareness and desiring to have complete, and let me say more self-awareness, because I don't know that it's ever complete, because we're always discovering more and more about ourselves, but more self-awareness so that I can fix those things, adjust those things in my head, in my heart, that I believed about myself. Thus my journey of affirmations, because growing up feeling like you were nothing, growing up feeling like you didn't matter, growing up feeling like your only responsibility was to serve others, that was part of my purpose, but it was not my only responsibility. My only responsibility is to serve me. So that I can effectively serve others. Reframing all of that in my head so that I can get to a point, as I said before, standing in and standing up for who I am and what I am to do. So it started back in 2010 when I really began to get clarity about it. And just as I said before, even getting clarity, it doesn't end, because there's always something else that's popping up, that something unearthed for me yesterday between me and my adult son, that I got to stop trying to be a mama to this boy, let him be. But if you'd have asked me before that occurred, oh yeah, I got that down pat, child. Yeah, I'm good now. But that came up for me. And I had to have a heart-to-heart with my son today to let him know, first apologize. Would I have apologized 5 years ago? Hey, no, I'm the mama. You do what I say to do.
Right.
With a 26-year-old man, really? But you see, that's that self-awareness coming into. So it is always evolving for me, that self-awareness and knowing who I am, because just like I discovered that mess from yesterday, that was unearthed. So that's a new part of me, or should I say a part of me that's still there that I thought I got rid of, that I still continually have to work on. So my epiphany, it's happened in stages, but each stage, when it happens, it takes me to the next level that I can be my best self. But you guarantee when we want more, I ask that question, there's got to be more. Well, my more doesn't stop happening. It keeps coming up, and requiring more work of me. But I'm very grateful for that, because now I can now share that story with somebody else.
Yes.
I'm not ashamed of talking about my molestation story. I am not. Because I know there are millions of women that have experienced the same thing, right? I'm not ashamed of it. It happened, and what I cannot change is the past. But what I can change is going forward. I'm not ashamed to tell people that I've been married the same man twice.
Right.
I'm not ashamed of it. Right. Because there are other women that have gone through the same thing, if not 3 times, right? Maybe not the same man, but still to let them know that I own that. I am accountable for my actions. I'm not going to say, well, he this and he that. What? Where is your accountability in that? What did you do? And that's what I started asking myself. What did I do? Right. I just allowed myself to go through that experience without any thought of mine. Well, that was a choice. So I still chose, right? But I chose me. I chose me and decided to work on me and to continue to work on me. So hopefully I answered that question, because that it just gets me going, y'all.
No, Kelly, you did. And the one thing I really love about both you and LaShawna is the power in which you speak. You know what I'm saying? The power in which you share. It's not like you said, it's not I'm dimming my light down because of things that have happened. It's no, this is what happened, but I'm using this as my glory. So Christy, I definitely gotta go to you. Like, how was it? What was the journey of like finding yourself and knowing yourself, knowing who you are?
Well, even listening to Karan and LaShawna, I felt what I heard is the common theme is confidence. I feel like a lot of times we are self-aware, we're just not confident enough to walk in that self-awareness.
Yes.
And that definitely was it for me. I feel like the confident person and the self-awareness that I have now has always existed. I was just always worried about what people were going to think about me if I showed up in that light. You know, she thinks this and she thinks that. And now I'm at the point that I'm confident in that I can say whatever you're saying, I do think that. I'm glad you see that, because that is how I want to come across, is that. And if their perception of what I put out there is read wrong, that's not on me. I know that I, in every effort, do my best to show up. Like my hashtag is I aspire to inspire. It's a really big compliment to me when someone says that I've inspired them, because that is my goal. And I aspire by just living up as my best self. I'm confident that if I live as my best self, if I show up as my best self, if I'm operating in goodness to help other people, then people will be inspired. And if you're not inspired by me doing what I feel and learned is my purpose in life, is to educate people and to, in all things, like people, say, well, how do you do sales? And I don't consider myself a salesperson. No, I consider myself a person that educates. There are find areas that I find that my light goes off when I find an area that people don't know a lot of things about, and I understand it. That's a window or an opportunity for me to educate people about that area, whatever it is. So in the last year where I've, changed, not changed, I just now have another business. I'm still doing one business, and people are like, how did you go? That's like far left, far right. But at the core of both of them is education. I am teaching people. So who knows what the future holds, but I can guarantee whatever it is, I'll be educated. And I'm confident in it. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that if we ask ourselves, people who are listening are saying, I wish I was as confident as you were, or I wish I was as self-aware you are. I would just say that you are very self-aware. You're just still worried about what people think about you showing up in that self-awareness.
Yeah.
Because what I found is people who are self-aware, whatever it is, like they could be very great as a dog walker, but they may not show up and thrive in that because they're worried that people are going to be like, well, we thought you were going to school to be a doctor. Like, why are you just being a dog walker? I'm telling the person who's winning as a dog walker is the one who doesn't care what anybody thinks about them being a dog walker. And that was the turning point for me, is with the point where I no longer cared about what anybody thought about what I do, what I say, how I show up, because I know I'm not harming anybody in that area that I'm showing up in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I want to add another perspective as well. First of all, thank you for that, Christy, because I think most people in the world are so worried about what other people think that they don't do what truly lights them up.
Facts.
And I want to add another perspective. Sometimes it's the ego thinking that people are worried about us and they got so much going on that they're trying to worry about themselves.
Everybody think about you.
So what happens, and I'm not talking directly to you, I'm talking to us.
Yes.
No, I get it.
Ain't nobody even checking for us.
Right.
They're trying to figure out their junk. They're trying to worry about who's worried about them. So we're all creating clouds of dust, and in the midst of it, we realize just do what works for you and F everybody else. And that's on the point and the period.
Right. Yes. The first thing I thought of when you said that is people who post on social media like all my haters. And when I see it, I'm like, what haters? And if I do, I don't even know where they are because I don't spend my time thinking about that. And they go to your point, like, literally, nobody cares. Nobody is sitting around thinking about you all the time.
And the only reason why I can confidently say that is because a couple years ago when I was going to therapy, one of the therapy dynamics, I was talking about, how I was self-conscious because growing up and I broke my jaw and I grew up with a crooked mouth and I didn't want to talk in front of large audiences. And the therapist said, LaShawna, do you know when people are speaking in front of crowds or there's a conference or whatever it is, that most people in the audience are trying to figure out what they're going to cook for dinner? Did the kids take out the trash? They're multitasking. They're not even really worried or fixated on the speaker so granularly and so laser focused as you're perceiving. And that freed me up so much.
Yes.
Because here I am, years of digesting and working through all the junk, and somebody's on their phone texting, talking about, did you take the trash out?
Right.
Right. And so a lot of times it's the ego that is inflating all of the things when really do the best that you can.
Yes.
Give yourself grace and everything else will fall in place.
Yep.
So I told you I wanted to circle back to you, LaShawna, because nothing in my life happens for a reason. I mean, by like happy stance, right? Everything in my life happens for a reason. And so when you shared your story, the first thing I thought about was her Chiron is in Gemini. And I know you probably like, what is she talking about? So let me just, because everybody got to share like kind of what helped them to get to the point where you know yourself and you understand yourself. One of the things that I'm very big on right now is using the tools that God has given us to use to be able to like really dig in deep to figure out how we were designed and why we were born and what we came here to do, right? And those few things, I'm going to share with you first a quote, because I feel like a lot in this day and time where we have been grown to think that astrology, numerology, and those type of things are bad, because we've grown up in such a religious age or whatever. But there's two things I always point out. So the first thing is I point out that we are majority water. Our bodies are made of majority water, right? And so if you think about the last time that you've gone to the beach, or even when you've just looked at different things on the beach, when it comes to the beach, and how the moon has an effect on the water and the tide. So if you think like if there's a full moon, it may be a high tide, so just kind of just put your mind in the mindset of what happens when the moon and the what's going on in the universe, how it affects water. So if it affects the water as in the ocean in that way, how do we think that it affects us when we are majority with water, right? So I point out that for people who just say, oh, I don't really believe in astrology, numerology, and all that. I point out that. I also point out the fact that back in the day when we had like real farmers, we still have farmers, but when we had farmers that really went by the moon cycle, and using the almanac. Again, we cannot disconnect one from the other. And so when I went for me, there's one more thing I point out is, and I had to go find this quote online. Now that my power is up, hallelujah. The quote by J.P. Morgan, it says, millionaires do not use astrology. Guess who do? Billionaires. Okay. So,
wow.
So it says millionaires do not use astrology, billionaires do. Okay. So if you're not a billionaire, I don't think you could tell me about what, wasn't put here for us to use. This whole universe is made up of numbers, signs, wonders, all these different things. So I point that out to say, Chiron is, I'm gonna give everybody a little astrology lesson right now, because I'm learning. Like, I am in the period of learning who I am, and I'm learning who I am by using astrology, by using numerology, by using human design, by using the personality test that most of us have taken. Just all the different tools that is put here for us to use, because when we know who we are at the core, like who we were born, like what we were born into, then it can kind of help us like backfill and be more firm and like confident about who that person is. So to your point, LaShonda, like I said, I want offline, I definitely want to make sure that I'm correct. But as I hear your story, all I hear is her Chiron is in Gemini, because your Chiron being in Gemini, I'm going to read this. It says it can indicate a fear. The core wound lies in perception and communication. So I know somebody who their Chiron is in Gemini, and they had a very, like, the early part of their life they dealt with not being able to communicate in a correct way, or people not understanding them, or them having a fear based around communication. But I am here to tell you, when you know where your Chiron lies, right? You know what it is that you have to overcome in your lifetime to be the best version of yourself. And so that's why it's really important for me to know who we are, because once we know who we are, we can overcome those things that we were destined to. Like, look, we're in the universe, aka the university. Okay, we came here to learn something, but when you don't know what it is that you're supposed to learn, how are you going to even overcome it? How are you going to use that as your testimony, as your glory? So,
and it sounds like I did that without even knowing where my Chiron was. Is that based off my birthday?
It is based off of, you need to know your birthday, and everybody who wants to find out where your
How'd you know I was Gemini then?
Huh?
How'd you know mine is Gemini?
Because the person that I'm referring to, theirs is in Gemini, and their story is similar. Like, y'all had a similar thing, and it's crazy because even because I know that his Chiron is in Gemini, he's now coming out and like communicating more and pushing himself on a platform that is, now worldwide. So it's like knowing where y'all started off in the, as a child, and then where you're going, like you using your voice to bring forth the message. You had to overcome that, though. And again, so the beauty of life is, whether we call it astrology, numerology, whatever, you're still gonna go through it. So I think it's better for me, I know it's better when you know what it is that you got to go through, so you can go ahead and work on it to overcome.
Knock it out.
Right. But if you never even heard of these things, LaShonda, like I said, you still went through it. Your way of going through it was to find a therapist, and the therapist heard what you were saying and talked you through it. You know what I'm saying? Somebody's may go let somebody look at their chart, analyze their chart. They never have to go see a therapist. They got their chart analyzed, and they know, they're now aware of the things that they're going to be presented with in life, and they have to overcome those things. So
now, I will say what you said, though, is exactly adds to how I gained the confidence. It was confirmation when I did start taking those tests, and the tests were saying what I already was. I just wasn't confident showing up in. But those tests gave me the confidence to be like, this is who I am. Like, I'm going to stop making myself small. Like, every test I took, numerology, astrology, I've done this test, I've done Myers-Briggs test. Like they literally all come back saying the same thing. I'm like, you know what? Whoever doesn't like this clearly is what God gave me. Now stop playing small and show me this. That was the added confidence that like my personality needed, was that if I get hit with someone who says something, because that's what would happen. Somebody would say something and I would be like, well, maybe it's not what I'm supposed to do, or maybe it's not who I'm supposed to be. And now I don't let people and I like look out couple. I'm talking about specific people who are actually they were thinking about it. They've said things to me, right? And so now I let those things roll off me because I'm confident. I can walk in that confidence because now it's like if I felt the need to show any or prove anything, which now I don't feel the need. But at that time, I did feel like I wasn't confident. I did feel like I need something to prove, not just my words, but like I got 5 tests that say this is who I am. I'm just walking in that. So that did, when I think back to who I was, or how I was handling before, it was, I needed something other than me to prove that that's like who I am. And now I don't need nothing. Now it's like, I have the confidence, I have the paperwork, I have everything I personally need to walk in it.
Yes. I want to add, some people still need a therapeutic approach to help them navigate depending on how severe of the junk was, right?
Right.
So it's like a spectrum. Some is the self-coaching, the self-development, etc. But when it's reoccurring and it starts to show its ugly head in certain situations, then the next level is maybe mindset coaching, life coaching. And then when you start to realize that you've compartmentalized some stuff and it's even deeper, that's what you want to do, like mental health counseling, a business therapist, something like that.
Yes.
The awareness enables you to see which route to take and when. So I'm loving this conversation. Like it's so awesome, and I'm just glad
it is.
You guys invited us in the experience.
It is.
Yes. Well, I thank y'all for both for again being joining the second conversation, because like I said, for anybody who is on now who didn't start with us today, both Lashana and Kayron have both had conversations with us before, and for our anniversary we just thought what better way than to bring back some of our favorite guests, and now that we have gotten a chance to have this conversation, I do want to kind of go ahead and give everybody the chance to have your final thoughts, and base it on the theme of today, because like I said, it's just like this. I can't even explain the feeling that I'm getting, but I do know for sure that when I do my temperature check based on my surrounding community, that I have my finger on the pulse. Everybody, we all need a word of encouragement to help us to persist and to continue this marathon of a race that we're running. So Lashana, we'll start with you and we'll go ahead and work our way out.
Sure. So I'm just grateful because I didn't know what the conversation would entail. And I think by everyone creating safe space and being flexible and not being agenda driven. That used to be me, where it's like, okay, we're going to do an icebreaker, then we're going to do this. And sometimes you got to throw the agenda out the window and just flow. And by us being able to do that today, we covered so much in a short time, but it's all aligned. And I know that each one of us got fed, the audience got fed. And this is the cool thing about what you said, the universe is university and we're always going to learn. The learning never stops. So even tonight during dinner, tomorrow, next week, next month, everything that we shared today is literally going to elevate and just plant its seeds and nourish, just because you guys invited us to the conversation and we let it literally flow. So I'm just super excited about Point Blank Period. Now I keep looking at the logo. I'm like, that logo is so dope. I love it. I love the rebrand. I love the elevation. And I also love that you guys, you didn't stay stuck in a box of, no, this is the name. This is what we got to do. No, y'all say, you know what? We're growing. We're flowing. Let's elevate. Because that takes curiosity, and it takes you to be vulnerable and brave, which is literally what you've been doing. And now everyone else gets to see it in action.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem.
So my last words, I said I would bring the book back for you guys to see. This is my newest project. If I can position it where you can see it. Hello. I just had, there it is.
Yeah. And it's so beautiful. Like the cover is amazing.
So this book here is called Life Rediscovered, Your 90-Day Personal Transformational Journal. And this journal, let me tell you, this picture right here, I get it to move over. That picture right there is fire, y'all. When I tell y'all, the artist who helped me with this, this is the vision I had in my mind, but I couldn't bring it to life with words. So she and I got on a call together and was able to bring it. But this journal right here is my latest project, and where I had the master class on yesterday, and I'll be scheduling another one. I'm inviting anyone who's interested just to go to my website, click on the chat bubble and send me a message that you're interested in getting into the master class for this book, because a lot that was talked about today is contained right here in this book. Talk about alignment, right? Y'all haven't seen this book yet, but yeah, what we talked about is contained in this book. And I want to encourage anybody that's out there that when it comes to your second wind, whether it's energetically your second wind or just within you being confident in what you are to do, when you get that second wind, know that that's intentional for you. A reminder of what your why is, a reminder of how you need to take care of yourself physically, so that when that second wind boosts your wings up, that you're ready to take off and fly. Because there are others that have been assigned to us that they won't make it out there to us. They won't make it to us if we're not doing what we need to do to keep ourselves healthy, both mentally and physically. And I'm so appreciative of being here on this anniversary celebration podcast with you all. This is my second visit. I look forward to coming back again with you beautiful ladies. And LaShawna, it was awesome sharing the stage with you. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you for your project out there of many, but mainly Pop Up and Create. I love that space. Absolutely love that space. So thank you again, ladies, for having me here.
Yes, thank you. All right, Christy.
Well, listen, there's some themes that I've heard throughout this: self-awareness and knowing your purpose. And those are two things I think are really important when you do hit that second win or feel the need for a second win. I also heard taking the time and stepping back and taking a break for yourself. I think that's really important, is that we keep going and keep going and keep going. And there are so many things, if you have a belief in God and that He speaks to you, that sometimes we miss His voice because we're always in movement. And so sitting down in a quiet space, whatever quiet looks like for you. I know I was listening to LaShawna say about going and listening to speakers that her therapist was saying, but they really aren't paying attention to you. And I was like, Lord, that's me. I'm a type B personality. And see, I've taken all the tests. I know the colors and all the things. And I'm the type of person I actually pay attention when I'm not looking at you. Like if I'm looking at you, I'm as good as not hearing anything you're saying, because I'm looking at you, but I'm thinking about all the things I need to do.
Right.
I'm better off writing like my list of things. So I'm getting those out of my head, and that allows me to listen to the speaker more. I got in trouble for that in college, because he was like, you didn't pay attention. I was writing something in my checkbook, but the whole time he was talking, I was thinking, like, I gotta put this in my checkbook. I gotta put this in my checkbook. I gotta put this in my checkbook. I didn't want to lose that thought. I wasn't hearing nothing that man was saying. So I was like, if I put this in my checkbook now, then that thought is gone, and now I can't put it. He didn't see it that way. But I think it's important to self-awareness. I know what I can't be concerned about what's going to think about me in order for me to be a learner. And so I think it's definitely important, knowing your purpose and then actually taking action. You know, when you take that moment to take a break and listen to your heart, your soul, then get up from that state. You have to take action on those things. Otherwise, you always find yourself being right back there where it's time for a second win. You know, some people have heard it as like, I'm tired of second wins. I would say, ask yourself, are you taking action on the things that you've been told to do in those moments? If not, you'll be second winning it for a long time until you start taking action.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
And there's two things that I wanted to add, because I love the way you do the rundown, Christy, about what you heard through the conversation. And there's two things that I definitely think that deserves exposure as well, or first to recap as well. One was surrounding yourself with the right people. So just make sure that the people in your space can hold space for you when you don't even know that that is the thing that's needed, right?
Absolutely.
And the only way that you can really do that is to go out and build real relationships, because anybody in my immediate circle, I should be able to kind of know their rhythm, right? And when I know and I recognize their rhythm, and I recognize something is off, that's a moment when I pick up the phone. That's a moment when I text. That's a moment when I message and say, hey, I'm just checking on you. How you doing? You know? So, and I do that often, and I just really appreciate those that do that often for me as well. And then the second part to that, the second thing I wanted to bring up, which goes right in line with what K'Ron has brought to the world, is affirmations and making love to yourself in your mind.
Yes.
Right? Mm-hmm. Being able to talk to yourself ever so gently. Because I know it's very funny how the mind works, because it feels like the self-sabotage and the doubt comes without you even
it runs
automatic. We have
it does.
It's weird. It's really weird that we have to like train our mind,
reprogram.
Right. And it's so weird. Like, why can't we be programmed to like have great talk, and then we could train our mind to, you know, to doubt and to do all those things? It's so weird. But those two things I definitely, you know, wanted to hold space for as well. So the people that you surround yourself with, and then how you talk to yourself. I think, you know, like I said, everything about this conversation has been amazing. And if you are just tuning in, we need you to do a few things. We need to make sure that you are following and subscribed to our Point Blank Period podcast channel on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And then we also want to make sure that you like this video and share it. This has been the most impactful hour and 22 minutes of my week. And it's a Sunday. And so this is the day. Every day is the day that the Lord has made, right? But in this day, I want you to really take time, get into your quiet place, get into that moment of stillness, and whatever turmoil, whatever life is bringing to you at this moment, even challenge, I mean, even wins. If you're going through a lot of wins right now, I just want you to just get into your moment of stillness. And I just want you to reflect. I want you to celebrate, and I want you to reflect where you are right now. And just know that in this moment, God is whispering to you, get ready for your second wind. Okay?
Yes, Lord.
Get ready, because the moment you get that second wind, it don't last long. In many cases, it does not last long. But when you get it, you have to maximize that time, that energy. You can sit there and be in your second wind and let it just go by. If you never felt it, my prayer for you today is that you feel it in this moment, because it's a feeling that it's like this burst of energy that you get. You can't sit down. You gotta put all your things into motion. Go ahead and do that. Take that time to make sure that you're in motion. So again, thank you, ladies, for this moment in time. Thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for being here in our second win, because, you know, podcasting, this is the second time that I've tried podcasting. The first time I tried it by myself. And then the second time, I'm so amazing to be running this race with a co-host, because again, when you start something, the amount of energy that it takes for you to sustain it is a lot. But when you have somebody else that will not let you stop, that will not let you fall, the race is so much better. So I appreciate you, Christy. I appreciate you saying yes. You said yes, like I called about the opportunity. You was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, and I needed that. I still need that to this day. And so again,
practice what I preach. I tell people, when opportunities come your way, what do you have to lose by at least looking into it and learning about it? Nothing. You'll come out smarter by at least learning, even if you don't take the opportunity on. And baby, in this last year, I have learned a lot. So this is one of the best yeses I could have said. So I appreciate you asking and believing me, because I was like, I know Tanisha's not going to ask if she doesn't believe in me, so I'm going to show up in that belief.
Yes, absolutely.
And you guys compliment each other so
They do.
well.
You really do.
It's a match made in heaven. I know y'all know like how blessed you are, but it's not easy to find a aligned energy that complements, and you could lean off of the strengths and iron sharpens iron, and they're willing, consistent, professional, all the other variables that we shall not go into. Like, I'm so proud of y'all.
Yes, thank you so much. We're gonna run this race, and hey, stay tuned. Get ready for year 2.
Yeah, because we got an event on June 22nd and 23rd where we're
can't wait to hear about this.
So listen, I'm gonna connect with y'all, but you know what, Christy, good job, because I know I kind of snoozed it in there, but and I got some ideas. It's about to go down. It's about to go down.
I'm looking forward to hearing about it, because I want to be in the house for this event as well. So make sure you keep me in the loop.
Yes. You probably should be, actually not probably, you should be a vendor, because it's all about personal development, healing, transformation, all of that stuff, which you're in alignment. So we'll talk.
Okay. Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
All right. Amazing. Thank you both. Everybody have a great rest of your day. And again, you have this second win. What are you going to do with it? Okay. So again, thank you for joining.
Fill in the blank.
That's right.
All right. Have an amazing day, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.